Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Whovian Shelf. Today I'm continuing my Series 9 reviews with The Girl That Died and The Woman Who Lived. Now, this is probably my second favorite two-parter this year, at least at this moment, behind the premiere. I did have some issues with it. It was kind of a strange two-parter in the fact that both parts were kind of standalone episodes, but with continuing characters and continuing themes. Now, the first episode is my least favorite of the two, mainly because it felt very much like just a very generic, formulaic episode of Doctor Who. The Doctor comes in, and it's kind of a variation on the Base Under Siege storyline, and there are echoes of Nightmare in Silver with the Doctor having to whip the Vikings into shape because they're not soldiers, and they have to fight this enemy. But what was really good about this episode were the performances. Peter Capaldi did a great job in this episode. Maisie Williams was really good as well. And this episode touched upon a few different themes of immortality, which definitely continue on and get expanded upon in the next part. But I kind of like that aspect of it, and especially the performances. But the story in it was just standard Doctor Who, nothing really to blow you away, and the cliffhanger wasn't that good at all either. It was just, oh, this girl's immortal now. The Doctor said that was what was going to happen. So, okay. But the next episode was really good. It was, I believe it was set in the 1600s with highwaymen roaming the streets. It is very, it's set in the same time as the classic Doctor story. Oh, it's behind here somewhere. But the fifth Doctor story, The Visitation, and they actually reference the Pteroleptals, which I just threw my fist up in the air at that. I was happy about that. You mentioned the Great Fire of London. Also, is a nice Captain Jack Harkness reference, which I think the woman that actually wrote this episode wrote some Torchwood episodes as well. So might be why I really do want Captain Jack to come back. Because I really enjoyed Torchwood, and that never really got, I guess, really a definitive ending. I know they were making some audios for Torchwood, and John Barrowman he's kind of a full cast member on Arrow now, but he said that he's up for it. So hopefully they can work him in to doing an episode to maybe kind of end his character off on a good note. Who knows? But yeah, as I said earlier, this episode really expanded upon the ideas of what it would mean for a human to become immortal. You live for hundreds of years. What was important to you, once, you could 100 years down the line completely forget about it, and when you lose people all the time, people that you loved or were once friends, grow old and die while you stay the same. You can cut yourself off from the rest of the world, which is kind of what happened to Ashildr. I think that's how you pronounce the name. In this episode, and that's why she was going by the name Me. I mean, she had forgotten her name. So it was really, really interesting how they kind of went through that, because you couldn't really remember everything with a human memory. So she was writing everything down in journals, and I think the most heartbreaking thing of it is she had actually had children and lost. I think she had 3 and lost all of them. So that was heartbreaking for the character, and it really makes you understand why she kind of became the way she was in this episode. Um, the alien threat in this one, was kind of just like a write-off. Wasn't really all that interesting, but the makeup was really well done. And I forgot to mention the aliens in the first episode. Uh, the armor on them, when I first saw a photo of that, I thought it looked terrible. It was bordering on like classic series uh, costumes, but in the episode they actually look pretty good. And when they finally take the helmets off, uh, it's a pretty well designed alien. Uh, but yeah, the alien threat in the second part really wasn't all that big. It was more about Maisie Williams' character in this, and even though I think now we're about halfway through the season, or almost halfway through the season, and they have kind of set up a few different themes. Of course, you have the hybrid aspect of it coming back to haunt the Doctor, from what Davros said. So I'm pretty sure that's probably going to come back in the finale. Also, you have the idea of the Doctor with his immortality and all the companions that he has lost and had to leave behind, and how that reflects on Clara, and maybe foreshadowing. Well, I mean, she's not going to be in the show anymore, so it's foreshadowing her departure. Whether she's going to die or just leave the show, who knows? But I mean, there's still that dangling plot thread of God, what was Orson Pink from the future. So I would say probably at some point Danny Pink is going to come back to life. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe Orson Pink no longer exists. Maybe he's from an alternate future. I don't know. I really don't know. But we will see in the finale. So, as far as a grade, I think I'm going to give this two-parter as a whole, probably around an 8.5 out of 10. Some great performances all around in both these two-parters. I do think that the first part was fairly weak as far as the story goes, but great performances as well. But as always, like the video, share it, and subscribe, and tune in next week. Or actually, I'm probably going to wind up doing just the reviews of these two-parters as a whole from now on. But we'll see. If I have a lot to say about the Zygon, I think it's the Zygon invasion, then I'll do two different videos on it. So till next time, guys.